Hi, I'm Ed Winslow. I'm the founder of NicheQuest Media. We're a SEO agency, and we create demand-driven business models for our clients and help them find new streams of income for their businesses. And in this video, I'm just going to explain what demand-driven marketing is, and I'm going to show you a couple examples and a couple tools to get you started. So what is demand-driven marketing? Everything online is based on demand. If you build your foundation based on consumer demand, everything else is going to fall into place. So demand driven versus interruption marketing. Interruption marketing are typical channels like TV, magazines, radio, billboards, mailers, all those ads that are in those newspapers, even cold calling, even social media. Though social media today is becoming more of a hybrid between interruption marketing and demand-driven marketing. Um, anyway, demand-driven channels, Google search, YouTube, Google Images, Google Places and Maps, Google AdWords, Amazon, demand-driven search engine, marketplace. Then you've got Bing search, and as I mentioned, you've got Facebook ads. So how does demand search works? Well, we all start doing our Google search with a problem. We have an idea in our head, we have a need, we we want something. We're going to look for it, whether it's we're going through a divorce, we're going bankrupt, we got a leak in our roof, we have bats in our attic, you have an issue with your kids, whatever it is, you're going to Google it. And you start out with a general keyword first, like bankruptcy or bankruptcy help or roof leak or whatever it is. So what happens is you do that search with that general keyword, and quickly you start getting smart. You start to read the other keywords that are on the page. You have about 15 different options to choose right on that first page. And what's going to happen is you're quickly going to start searching deeper long tail keywords. Important that people care about themselves, so they're going to search what relates to them. They don't care about you. They don't care about how hard you work. They only care about themselves. So it's really a simple process. Give them what they want, not what you think they want. So let me show you a quick example of a client that I worked with, and they sell workers' comp insurance. This is Pat Scanlon and Pat Ryder. They're based in New York City, and when I started with them, I looked at their business and said, even if I can help you get to the top of a Google search, what differentiates you from anybody else? And let me show you what we did. Okay, so if we do a search for workers' comp rates for contractors, which is a big part of their business, sort of a long tail keyword. And what's sort of interesting is you can see that on a national basis, they rank number 4. But you can see what we did was we got into class codes. And that is what we built their business around. Now, there's no tool out there that would indicate that that's what people search, but I used common sense. If I was a contractor and I need workers' comp insurance, or I need a new policy, either I'm going to search workers' comp rates for contractors, or I'm going to search workers' comp rates for whatever it is specifically is my problem. And you can see what we did here was we took this class code, and I found that there were 300 class codes that apply to all these different contractors. So everybody's specific. So contractors aren't looking for just workers' comp insurance or workers' comp for contractors. They're looking for things like workers' comp class code 5222 for concrete construction in conjunction with bridges. I mean, that's a very deep niche strategy. That strategy worked extremely well. And if you take a look here, you can see not only do they rank on a national basis right here, but if we search for in New York, you're going to see that they rank number 1. And we could even go even deeper and go into like, let's go into painters. I haven't even looked at this really. sort of winging this, but look here, they're ranking number one for painters. You could you could probably go, um, all kinds of deeper niche keywords, specific trades, and you're probably going to find um, that they rank everywhere. Let's take a look at landscapers. And you're going to see that for landscapers, they rank number 4 and they rank number 5. But you could also do it for even like, restaurants. Restaurants. So, the point being is that you want to go think about your market, and you want to think deeply about your market and think about who is your customer and what are they looking for. Like for example, workers' comp rates for restaurants in New York. I mean, this is not only New York, but this is also New York City. And we built this whole strategy. We built their entire business around class codes. And what's happening is now that they are branding themselves as the class code experts. Really gives them an edge. And that's what you want to be thinking about in regards to your business. Think about your customer. When they're sitting there in front of their keyboard, what is their problem? You got to think deeply, and then we'll identify all those little deep niches within your own market. So here's another one. This was a client that I worked with a number of years ago, and they're in the furnished office space market. Huge player, owned by one of the biggest real estate companies in New York City. And they had struggled for a number of years to get any kind of exposure for this particular business because in the furnished office space market, that is not a broker-driven market. That is an internet-driven market. But you have to think about if you're looking for office space in New York City, which is such a big market, you don't want just furnished office space in New York City. You want furnished office space near something. And in this particular example, what I looked at was that you've got Penn Station, so you've got all these commuters coming in from New Jersey and Long Island. And anybody coming into Penn Station, it's also by Madison Square Garden, but furnished office space near Penn Station. This, you can see this, they've been ranking number one for 6 years now for this, and it just makes their phone rings, and they continually fill this one location based on the internet search for a very specific location. Here's another one that's pretty interesting. Here's how one chance Google rank produced 400 leads. So this was a client in Washington State, and this particular client was in the painting business, and they also did these roof coatings. Well, by chance, we linked the roofing page to the painting page, and Google saw the relevance between the two, and they ranked for roof painters. They got a call from somebody at an investment company that owned 400 franchises throughout the West. They needed ideally one roofing company that could handle the roof painting, which the client incidentally had never really even heard of. But any of these franchise brands need to have their roofs painted because they fade out after a while. So this was a massive, massive requirement that came from, this was really an unexpected consequence of building your strategy the right way. Sometimes this was what happens, is that you find markets or markets find you by building your foundation the right way. Another really key thing here is it's not just the keywords that are very deep that you want to target, that your customers are searching for, that are in demand, but people are also searching for in geographic locations, cities, states, counties. So when you build your strategy, you want to look at where your customer is, and you want to keep in mind that the search engine like Google is a computer. So you got to feed the computer the data that they need to understand what you're all about. And city pages are one of the keys. Um, Really important to know where the demand is coming from. Really interesting here. I got some information online that apparently Google Maps um, that are showing up for over 90% of local searches. So your Google Maps is a really critical part of demand, your demand marketing channels. There's a whole education that I provide on that, which I'm not going to go into right now. But over 46% of search on Google is local and growing. I was looking at some analytics for one of the clients that I have, and out of 1,900 views in the last 30 days, here's what the results are. 58% of the traffic is coming from mobile search, 31% from desktop, 10% from tablets. Okay, so keywords and geographic exposure, those are two key things that you need to address to meet the demand of your customers. Now, there's a couple steps here that I think are really key. Number one, how much is your client worth? That's really key. If you don't know what your client is really worth, you can't target that market properly. Where is your client? How many clients do you need? And who is your competition? You really want to build your business model based on that. How much is your client worth? Where are they? How many do you need? Who is your competition? And we'll talk about keywords in a second. So there's three really key tools to find what your customers are looking for. First one is Google Suggest. Second one is Amazon. And the third one is YouTube. So let's take a real quick look at all three of those. Google Suggest is pretty basic. You probably used it. You probably never really thought about this. But if you do something like this, if you go in and do a search for workers comp market, it doesn't really matter what market you're in. But let's just go workers comp, and you can see that Google's giving you some suggestions right here. This is called Google Suggest. So what are the words that they're suggesting? Rates for contractors New York, workers' comp rates, insurance rates. But what if we type in the letter A? Workers' comp audit. That's a good one. If you're an attorney, it's a different story. But if you're an agent, it's something else. Workers' comp board. There might be some information you want to use. You might want to write that keyword down. Then we go to the letter C. Okay, there we go. Workers' comp class codes. Big, if you never thought about class codes before, if I hadn't explained this to you, you may not have known. But by just going through this process, so class codes New York. Let's go to the letter D. Okay, this doesn't really apply. Drug test. Well, you might want to put something like that on your website about drug testing, so that the consumer knows about drug tests. So that could be a valuable keyword that could get people to your website. Exemption forms. If we go to F, here we go. Workers' comp for painters, workers' comp for roofers. Tells me that there's probably people searching for all kinds of things. Could be plumbers, could be carpenters, could be restaurants, could be bakeries, on and on. We go into G, guidelines. Go into H, hearing. Okay, Hartford. We see that that's local, so that we know people are searching locally. We can go into I, insurance rates. So class codes and insurance rates, important. We go into J, jobs. K, knee injury. Okay. L, lawyer. I go look at M, moderate. I don't know what any of this stuff is. But anyway, you get the point that you can use Google Suggest to find tons of keywords. And in another video I'm going to show, or another education I'm going to show, how to take these keywords and build the content for your website and you can use it for videos, you can use it for your Facebook ads, you can use it on Pinterest. Once you've got this foundation built, you are set. Okay, let's take a look here. So let's go over to Amazon. Amazon is another amazing tool. So you want to use, Google suggests you want to use Amazon, and also you. I don't want to get too deep into this right now because this is a whole nother uh, education right here and how to use Amazon, but I just want to give you an overview of some of the tools that you can start using right away. If you can use Google Suggest, you start look at Amazon, look at the books that are being written, look at how many reviews. The more reviews shows more user engagement, which means it's probably a better, higher ranked book. And just an amazing resource that you can use. So you have this amazing information for a small business owner in a local market. I'm giving you the tools that you can start utilizing as soon as you stop watching this video. So here we go. Let's take a look over um, let's do a search over on YouTube. Workers comp rates. Let's see if there's anything come up for workers comp rates. Okay, so now what you can do is you can start scrolling through here and you can start to see how many videos have been, what videos are getting the most views. Here's one 1100 views. This one's 281. So, okay, this one's sort of interesting. I'd want to take a look at this. 63 views. So you can see, not a huge topic. Okay. But what if we got rid of the word comp and just, okay, so now you can see, okay, that's interesting. Okay, so this one was viewed 30,000 times. Here's one that was searched for 53,000 times, 49,000. So you can already see what is in demand. And you want to look at, these just between Google Suggest, Amazon, and YouTube, you can build a business around this whole strategy. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to create a series here. So I hope this helps you. This is really the basis of demand-driven marketing. And before you do anything online, before you think about, oh, I've got a great idea for a website, this is the process. This is where you start. If you're not getting sales, if you're not getting performance out of your website or your internet marketing strategy, it's because you haven't started out with building your business from the ground up based on demand. You're building your business based on old school brochure strategies, like throw a brochure out there, hope somebody likes it. But that's not what converts today. So this is the foundation. This is where you start. Hope this helps. Good luck, and hope to see you in the next video.